Good evening. My name is Paul Mallery, and tonight we're going to talk about the disappearance of Martyn Richardson. Now, Martyn is a member of the public who resides in the Braintree area, and he's been missing for 2 weeks, I believe. I'm going to speak to his uncle Lee Richardson, who also lives in the area. Good evening, Lee.
Good evening.
Thanks so much for agreeing to take part in this, because this must be a very, very difficult time for your family. But can you tell me what has happened and why we find ourselves where we are today?
Yeah, okay. So it will be 3 weeks tomorrow. So on the 24th of August, Martyn was attending a family party with pretty much all of our family. It was his great nan's 90th, my nan's 90th, and also his nan who he lives with, 65th, which is my mum.
Right.
So he came to the party, absolutely fine, came on his bike. He has Asperger's, so he's not that keen on socialising with people. So that's why he came on a bike, so that he could leave when he wanted to, which is common. It's what he normally does. I spoke to him there. He was happy. And then about 25 past 8, there's CCTV from Bocking Village Hall where the party was of him leaving.
Yeah.
And then he spotted again going past the co-op in Bocking, and again going past the retreat. Then there's nothing further. We believe he travelled down Dorwoods Avenue because his bike was found on the backfields there, but that wasn't until the early hours of Tuesday morning. So we're not 100% sure that it was him that put it there, but yes, it wasn't. So that's the reason police have focused in that area to date.
I mean, it's very, very difficult. How old is he?
He's 27, so he's an adult. He's more social that he doesn't particularly enjoy. So he is, he works. He's worked at McDonald's for the last 11 years.
Right.
He lives with my dad, so he's not independent as such, but he has the abilities and skills to be independent.
Right. Okay. And has he gone missing before?
No. Once about 7 years ago, when he was having a bit of a tough time, he took himself down to the field for a couple of hours, but he told his nan that's where he was going. She was looking after his younger brother, who was a baby at the time, so she called the police and they went and talked to him and he came straight back. But that's what's so out of character. He normally tells his nanny everything he's doing when he works, when he gets to work, when he's halfway to work, when he's halfway home from work, at lunchtime at work. He's got such a close-knit bond with his nan, he literally tells her everything.
And let's just put this into a perspective. So he's got Asperger's, and
yes.
He uses an analog phone, as I understand it.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. So
when was that phone last active?
So where it's an analog phone, you can only tell activity if a call was received, dialed, or a text is received or dialed. And that was last pinged the tower at 5 o'clock on the Saturday he disappeared.
So before the party actually took place?
So yeah, a couple of hours before the party started. Party started at about 7.
Where the bike was found, is that the normal area that he would go?
That's not the way we would have expected him to go, no. With his Asperger's, he's quite routine driven.
Yes.
So we'd have expected him to go home the exact same way he came. The CCTV shows that he came to the party going down Convent Lane, down Street, and then up Church Road past Polyfields he's seen on CCTV and towards the party. Over on the way back, the last CCTV is at the retreat at Bocking, and he doesn't go past Polyfields along Church Street towards Bradford Street, which is the route we would have expected him to take.
And he is a person of habit, isn't he? I mean, let's make.
He is a person of habit. Yeah. He always goes to work the same way. He always comes home from work the same way. If he goes for a walk down the field, he always goes to the same place. It always takes the same amount of time whenever he's doing anything, because he follows the routine that he normally does.
Now, you've had a lot of support locally. I live locally, so I've picked it up on social media. And I'm sure you're very grateful for that, because you've had a lot of armchair detectives who have put in their views of what's gone on, etc., etc. But I've run investigations into missing people, and I hope that the police are doing everything they can. But I can offer you some reassurance, because there'll be, and I'm sure you know this, but there's constant reviews taking place around the process of a high risk missing person, which Martyn would obviously be. Now, what support and what information do you get back from the police?
The police have been pretty good a couple of times to show us the areas they're searching, what they call the assurity levels of how confident they are that that area is completely clear. Various conditions, they can't be 100% sure on the areas. For example, the river, they're 85% sure that that is clear, but because there's certain areas that things can get tangled in, they can't be 100%. So the communication with them has been good. As you say, the support from the public has been amazing. Everyone wants to help. They really want to get out and search, but for obvious reasons, police don't want them to do that, which is understandable.
Yeah,
they are the experts. They have done this before. We are led by what they want to do.
yeah, absolutely. And they do this on such a regular basis that they've got a plan. I mean, no plan is the same. Everything is different because of the topography, the lie of the land, the overall weather conditions. Now, there was an appeal for 4 people to come forward. What are the circumstances around that?
So the last confirmed sighting of Martyn was on the CCTV at the retreat. There is some grainy long distance from a house CCTV footage down by Dorwood's Lane, or the chase, sorry, the bit that goes off of Dorwood's Lane. And that shows what appears to be somebody on a bike, which fits with the time, so it does appear to be Martyn. And then shortly after that, about 5 minutes, there's 3 people, what appears to be people walking dogs. And then a couple of minutes later, there's a single person on their own in what looks to be dark clothing. So those are the 4 people that the police have appealed to come forward.
Have their images been released by the police?
The images aren't particularly clear. It's quite pixelated due to the distance. So that's why I believe they haven't released the footage.
Could Martyn have been brought into somebody's confidence? Would there be somebody, a third party, that he could have gone with or would have gone with?
I mean, it's very unlikely he would have gone with somebody he doesn't know, because he doesn't even like looking at people he doesn't know. When he walks his head down, if someone comes near him, he'll pull his phone out and pretend to be on it, all those kind of things. Whether or not he would have gone with somebody he does know, somebody he does trust, then that's obviously we've racked our brains for all possibilities of what could have happened, and it is possible he would have gone with somebody if he trusted that person. I don't think he would have gone with somebody he didn't know.
Right. And he is vulnerable,
Yeah, he is vulnerable, yeah.
If anybody has any information in relation to the disappearance of Martyn, there are obviously ways that they can contact the police, which will be 101, and it's an emergency 999. And if they've got any other information, they can always go through Crime Stoppers, which I'll put the number up on the screen. But you are very accessible as an individual through social media, and that's how we contacted one another.
Yeah.
Are you happy for people to come to you if they've got information?
Yes, definitely. As I say, we don't know for definite how the bike got there. So if some kids found it somewhere, taken it and then dumped it when they've seen the social media, I'd much rather they contacted me. I wouldn't pass any of that on. We'd just then know that we've been looking in the wrong place, which would be invaluable to us at the moment.
So if you were going through Bocking on Saturday the 24th of August, at any time during that day, please come forward with any footage that you may have from your dash cam, or you're a taxi driver, a bus driver, whatever you may be, if you've got any footage for that area, because there may be something that's significant in that footage. Sir, thank you very much for your time tonight. I wish you and your family well. Please keep in touch, and if I can...
Very much. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, mate. Take care.
Thanks, mate.
Cheers, and bye-bye.